Alright, so have you ever had one of those intrusive thoughts where you're like, I wonder if I'd ever survive in a horror movie? Yeah, well, all these horror games were invented to answer that question. And the answer is absolutely not, buddy. Starting off with one of the most cursed games ever, Resident Evil 7. Like, let's be so for real right now. Like, think about you. Yes, you with your little DoorDash orders and emotional support energy drinks. You know you're not making it 10 minutes in that swampy Louisiana back room. So picture this, you're Ethan Winters, right? Some guy who gets an email from his wife after Shawty's been missing for 3 years. Most people would have been moved on. But Ethan? Nah, he packed his 1997 Toyota Corolla and drove deep into that Louisiana swamp. Like, bro, you gonna pull up to this abandoned house from your ex after she ghosted you for 3 years? And he just thinks this is fine. That's how you know my man's brain operates on pure plot armor and white male curiosity. But the second you walk in, the sound design alone should have been your cue to leave. Everything creaks, everything drips. There's like a wet slapping noise coming from the next room. Now realistically, I'm out of there. But we gotta remember we're in your shoes this video, buddy. So you gotta go down there looking for your girl, right? This man finds a VHS tape that damn near looks like a snuff film of his wife. And he just kinda thinks, wow, that's messed up. Let me go down that same basement where people screamed and died. And then bam, you get knocked out and wake up here. Nigga, get me out of here, please! What do they got going on in here, bro? They eating straight bug doo-doo. We got the mom over here talking about some eat it, it's good. Bro, just kill me at this point. But let's just assume you got the plot armor Ethan does. And you eventually get out of that situation, and now you're hiding in a house that smells like diesel and despair. You walking around and you just saw a bug the size of a Subway sandwich crawl around the door. And then you got this maniac Jack walking around talking about how he's gonna find you. And he's saying it in his best Florida man accent. And then you open your inventory and all you have is one bullet, a pocket knife, and a tape recorder that saves your trauma. At that point, just let me respawn in heaven. And then you gotta fight your girl Mia. This woman, who you came here to rescue by the way, starts crawling on the walls like she's auditioning for The Exorcist 2. And instead of running, Ethan goes, Mia, we can talk about this. Nigga, you're not Naruto, run! She's currently in her demonic villain arc, bro. I don't care, bro, any normal human is dead at this point. But let's continue to talk about how much plot armor this man Ethan has. Bro, in the boss fight with Jack Baker, you're literally trapped in this tiny room, right? You have like 2 bullets, bro. He literally ends himself in front of you multiple times, bro. He sets himself on fire. Like, bro, what do you even do in this situation? Hey, I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the scariest games of all time. When you're playing as Mia trying to hide from the mom, and then she hits you with that. Roll the credits, bro. If you ever think you'd survive Resident Evil 7, go turn your lights off, play it in VR, and see how long it takes before you start crying into your hoodie. And remember, this man Ethan Winters didn't even survive. It was revealed that he died in the first few minutes of the game, bro. Case closed. But alright, let me calm down. Now let's talk about Little Nightmares. This game feels like a dream you'd have after eating gas station sushi. And I know some of you out there think, oh, it's not that scary. It's just a cute little yellow raincoat game. Wrong. Put yourself in Six's shoes. You wake up in what looks like a children's hospital designed by Tim Burton. This place is full of pipes, cages, and shoes. Why are there so many shoes? But in this world, you got the stamina of a Victorian orphan and the metabolism of a hummingbird. She's constantly starving like every 10 minutes. But in this world, you gotta eat straight raw meat out of a cage. Every corner of this game just screams you shouldn't be here, bro. The hallways are too big, the doors are too tall. You realize you're in a world built for giants who eat children. And then you meet the janitor. This dude's arms are literally longer than his entire body. And his face is just a mashed potato. He's blind, but he can hear everything. And his arms stretch across entire rooms. Now imagine being a normal person there. You bump into one can, it echoes like a nuke for him. You're not outsmarting that. You're not Metal Gear Solid, buddy. You're a scared child in a raincoat. You think you're safe? Then your stomach growls. Yeah, you know you're cooked. You literally just died to a man who looks like he hasn't blinked since 1983. Then you get to the kitchen, where the twin chefs live. And there's something about the way they move that's so wrong. And just when you think it can't get any worse, the guests arrive. Imagine an all-you-can-eat buffet from hell. Six runs through a crowd of these monsters and they chase her. Not because she's attacking them, but because they want to eat her, bruh. You know you're not surviving this. So there are horror games that test your nerves, and then there's Outlast, a game that tests your sanity, faith, and bladder control. Because let's be honest, no normal person is surviving Outlast. Not a single one of us. You could drop an Olympic athlete in that asylum, and they'd still end up sobbing in a locker. This game is pure PTSD. First of all, let's address the biggest problem. You're a journalist, professional bot with a camcorder. You you decide to investigate an abandoned psychiatric hospital. They say it's been shut down for mysterious reasons, and instead of calling the police, National Guard, or literally anybody with a gun, you just pack your night vision camera and drive there at midnight, alone. That's main character syndrome mixed with unemployment. He pulls up to Mount Massive Asylum, sees flickering lights, hears screams in the distance, and his first thought is, let me document this. Bro, this isn't Vice News. This is how ghost stories start. The moment you step inside, you realize this place is the real deal. You find corpses everywhere. But since you're a journalist, you just have to write this down in your notebook. Something bad happened here. Yeah, buddy, you think? Now the most important part of this game isn't the monsters. It's your camcorder. You see, you can't really see in the dark unless you use your night vision, which eats through the batteries like it's a toddler with an iPad. Why didn't you bring a flashlight? Who knows? So you're constantly sprinting through hallways trying to find AA batteries in a building full of murderers. In real life, the camcorder would die in like 20 minutes, and you'd die 20 seconds later. And then you've got big old tubby over here, Chris Walker, the 7-foot tall tank with no shirt and too much anger. You got these random naked guys whispering Bible verses. This isn't just a hospital, it's a carnival of trauma. Chris Walker alone would end 99% of us. You can hear him stomping around saying little pig. The moment I hear that, I'm just laying down and accepting my fate. Big man with chain, very angry, big Hulk ass nigga. Bro, and the thing is, these niggas really be chasing you for real, bro. Like, they don't stop. They real life crazy in there. Eventually you meet Father Martin, a priest who's convinced that all his blood and murder is God's work. He keeps calling you the apostle, which is game code for I'm gonna make your life worse. Then let's talk about the Wall Rider, the game's actual villain, a ghost made of nanomachines that can turn people into soup. It's invisible, it can fly, and it can kill you instantly. That's not even a boss fight, bruh. That's just instant death. But if you think that's scary, let's talk about Silent Hill. The series literally tries to diagnose you like it's a therapy session. The first red flag of this entire story is James Sunderland receiving a letter from his dead wife. What do you mean my deceased wife is sending me letters? And instead of seeking help, he decided it was fine to drive into straight fog with 0 GPS. Like, bro, that's a death wish. So you pull up to Silent Hill and immediately everything feels wrong. The fog is so thick you can't see 3 feet ahead of you. There's literally no people, bro. It's a ghost town. So as the main character, you know you gotta roam around and explore. You know, looking for your dead wife, thinking maybe she's at the park. Not sucker, maybe she's not real. And then you have this radio, basically an auditory panic attack machine. Now the monsters, every single one in Silent Hill isn't just a monster. It's a manifestation of your unresolved issues. Now the first monster we gotta talk about is... Okay, I'm tripping. So basically these nurses are supposed to represent anxiety and lust. And then you got this thing. What am I even looking at? But the real deal is my boy Pyramid Head. Literal punishment incarnate. Every time he comes on screen, it's straight aura. Body and everything that's in his path. Bro, you know the second you step into that fog, you're dead, bro. Mans walks around carrying an oversized sword like he guts. So yeah, that's instant GG's. Oh, and speaking of GG's, let's talk about Alien Isolation. Playing this game damn near already feel like it's real life. Because if you breathe too loudly in your mic, the alien can hear you. Just like every other game on this list, no normal person is surviving this. The only reason this is even a game is because you play as Amanda Ripley, the daughter of Ellen Ripley, the OG alien slayer. Amanda says, let me go check out this ship where everybody died. And mind you, she's not a soldier, she's not a marine, she's just an engineer in a jumpsuit with a wrench and a dream. And the dream is to not die horrifically in space. What you should be worried about is the alien itself. This thing doesn't follow logic. It follows you though. This thing is like 10 foot and moves on pure instincts. Bro, even the AI in the game literally learns your movements and adapts to what you're gonna do. But keep in mind, in real life, you ain't gonna respawn, buddy. No matter how brave you are, you're not surviving any of this. Not the Baker House, not Mount Massive Asylum, and definitely not a vent with a xenomorph breathing down your neck. Let me know down in the comments if y'all want a part 2, but I'll see you in the next one, man. Peace.